Hello. Hope the music isn't too loud, but it's also hopefully not too soft. Okay. We got a fun stream today. And by fun, I mean, I just need content, so we're gonna, we're gonna review some of the replays that weren't streamed to the channel. I think there were 3.
Yeah, whose replays are we missing?
I think we're gonna, let me see. I think we're missing Nook versus Siege, You versus Blue Black, and Chef Jash versus Jace of Spades.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
I think it'll be kind of cool. Just give these a look over. Give some of our thoughts, comments, and kind of just see how all those games shook out, and maybe give some tips and or tricks as to potential opportunities to learn or change up the strategy, or just potentially point out things that were just very glaring mistakes.
Right.
And I believe we may be seeing a good amount of that third one, but we shall see.
Yeah, I know there were a few misplays in some of these games. A few things that could have been improved, but
Well, that's the thing with this league is it might be a lot of newer players to Pokemon, but I think there is still equal opportunity for everyone participating to grow and learn from their experiences, and just be better at the game. That's all I really want.
Yeah, that's the fun part, right? It has been really fun watching like all the new players improve over time.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or, I mean, not even like, I mean, we've only seen a couple weeks worth of games, but like, just seeing that they've made adjustments like over the course of the 2 weeks has been good.
Absolutely. It's incredible. I know I was talking to Shy Guy Rai the other day, and he was he was telling me, oh yeah, I've been watching the replays and on the stream, and I'm like, oh yeah, what do you think? He's like, I swear to God, some of these players don't look like they're new, and I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually quite the compliment from our previous season winner.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he was saying like some of the plays seem obviously rough, but a few from some of the other players just look insane. So it's really cool to see that even for our newer players, it shows that there is growth. There's some really cool thoughts going into their builds, and it's being it's recognizable. It's not just us kind of not necessarily pandering, but
like talking them up, right?
Yeah, we're not really talking about, because I know this guy personally. Like, he doesn't really throw, he doesn't like sugarcoat too much. And guarantee if someone was playing bad, he'd probably tell you.
Yeah.
But he absolutely was telling me like, yeah, some of these players you got this season are insane. Got some really cool plays coming out, and I'm like, yeah, there's so much cool shit, and this is only week 2.
Yeah, we've seen some good plays and some really nice builds, like
for sure,
crazy sets, for sure.
How is this only week 2? That's what I'm asking myself now.
And that's what I like about draft. Is like you get to see all this stuff because, I mean, you don't have to prep in a generalist sense, right? You can take your time to figure out crazy stuff that works against exactly who you're playing against.
For sure, you can more accurately fine tune your builds and stuff, which is such a cool way to play this game.
Right.
So I think up first we'll go ahead and we'll just review the Nook versus Siege matchup.
Yeah, sure.
And right off the bat, my gosh, their teams are, I think, really cool.
Yeah, I remember this game.
I vaguely do as well. I did watch most of these. I think I watched all of them as they played out, but then it's been a busy week, so memory is slipping a little bit.
Yeah.
Between the two, I think, like, at a first glance, I feel like Siege has a solid team. I'm not too sure about the triple fire type thing, but
I don't know, man. I'm just excited to see 3 starters on this team.
That's facts. That's true. That's true. And honestly, of the 3 starters, I think he's got 2 of the better ones and Charizard.
Hey, man. Charizard is
Okay, I get
Charizard's just not in a good spot in this gen, but it's still good. Like, I don't think it's
for
that
sure.
bad.
I shouldn't give it too much shit. Charizard's got a storied history, and it's not a bad mon by any means. I'm just not the biggest Charizard guy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I am excited to see the Feraligatrs coming out. I think this is the 2nd time he's brought it. Sheriff's Gator is so scary. Like, this thing can just punch a hole through almost anything with a single dance. It's kind of intense.
Yeah, it's a great Pokemon. It's got really good stats. DD is like the perfect setup move for it.
Oh,
and
100%.
it's got all the coverage that it could possibly need in its learn set. So
For sure. Yeah,
I'm excited to see more of this in future weeks as well.
Definitely the same. And I think we'll quick look at Nook's team here. I'm actually going to flip the POV so it's easier to see. I am loving the Ninetales and Gouging Fire and Venusaur core. If I were him, this is what I take almost every week. Like, it's so powerful.
Oh, for sure.
With in a similar way, just like Feraligatr, after a single dance, how the hell do you stop G Fire? I think the answer is like you don't.
Yeah, you often can't. I mean, it's very hard. It's very easy for it to get out of hand.
Absolutely, especially in the sun, so you don't even need to burn booster energy. You can get away with something like Life Orb, or some. You know, if you're insane, you can go Banded. Lots of options. I think once you guarantee sun setup with a Ninetales, or didn't quite get the Torkoal, but you know, in any case,
yeah,
the option is there. I am super intrigued with the Rhyperior pickup for the week. Rhyperior, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. He's actually got 2 with Venusaur too. I'm a big Venusaur fan. But Rhyperior, I think with Solid Rock, can really just put in the work. Kind of shrugging off a lot of those super effective moves. Maybe not super well, given it's a 4x weakness to like a bunch of stuff. But still, with some investment, I think the opportunity to start shrugging off some damage is really helpful.
Yeah, I think it's got. I mean, it's got good stats, and its only real weakness is speed and special defense. But special defense you can make up for with Assault Vest, which is
100%, yeah,
one of the greatest items of all time, in my opinion.
I agree.
And the speed is not really an issue when you're so bulky, right? And especially against, if you look at Siege's draft, there's actually a lot of rock weakness. So I think it's a good choice.
I agree. Even Siege's overall draft, I think we can flip to it here. You know, he's made a couple of adjustments, picking up an Articuno and a Registeel, and Deoxys defense over the between the conclusion of his week 2 game and today. And I kind of like that pickup. But as far as this game is concerned, yeah, he's got 3 very glaring rock weaknesses. 2 of them are 4 times weak with Charizard and Volcarona. So I think if those are mispositioned, those will just insta-die to Rhyperior. Because I guarantee, of the 2, really only Volcarona can do anything with clicking Giga Drain.
Right.
But otherwise, it's not looking great for Siege's team with that. But he's still there's still options here, like Feraligatr super doesn't give a shit about Rhyperior, and if the coverage is right, it could potentially punch through like a Venusaur. But let's get into this replay here.
Yeah, take us in.
So I got leads with Ninetales. Hold on a minute.
So I remember this game. You'll notice that this Ninetales doesn't set sun, and that was a mistake.
Is this Flash Fire Ninetales because he forgot to change it?
Yes, unfortunately, it is because he forgot to change it.
Oh, buddy.
When I was watching this game, I actually thought it may have been on purpose, considering how many fire types Siege's draft has, and that he could, potentially use that as a switch into, like a Fire Blast from Charizard or Pyro Ball from Cinderace, right? But after the game, we talked and we figured out that it was in fact an error. Unfortunately.
I was just thinking because, you know, despite the triple fire mines and that being kind of a cool tech piece, I don't think you give up the sun because you kind of need it for Venusaur to function.
Right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Venusaur without sun is decidedly much worse.
I love my Venusaur, man, but Jesus Christ, no sun chlorophyll is actually despair.
Yeah, oh, an overgrow Venusaur is
Bad.
iffy at best. Yeah.
Let's just watch this. Scourging Sense comes out on repair, burns it, which is incredible. Mitigates that leftovers recovery. Wait a
Good old 30% burn.
Hold on. Oh, the sun not being there really hurts. We're watching... Oh my fuck. We're watching a naked Charizard click Solar Beam and just manual set it.
I think both players didn't actually realize until this moment that there wasn't sun out. Because you kind of just expect it, right? And I think... I'm pretty sure both of them just...
Hello.
They assumed it was there.
That's...
Hey, welcome.
Hello.
Hello, Max. Welcome to the booth.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
I'm not happy you're here.
Oh.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. I'm very happy you're here. That's right.
Yeah, I think both players just assumed that sun was there, which is why we see a raw solar beam with no fast charge.
I think the most offensive part is the Stone Edge missed.
Yeah, and somehow it works out because the Stone Edge doesn't connect.
And then this, oh my fucking god. And the Solar Beam critting is just sort of BM on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think the crit mattered, but...
Probably not. We see...
it was,
It just sort of like, it's like if, you know, salt in the wound almost.
Mm-hmm. So we get a bit of balancing act here with a Hurricane Miss.
Yeah, you know, 80 accuracy, 70 accuracy, but effectively 0 most times.
Yeah. I
also don't hate the heat crash button being used, even though it seems like it would be really weird given that Siege has a Snorlax, right? But heat crash, I mean, it hits things for not very effective, but it's a good just gauge of how much damage Gouging Fire is probably gonna do to anything.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah, it's a very, very safe button to click, right?
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Not like there's any immunities or anything that's, you know, that's gonna like make it useless, right? Yeah.
Because even into like
biggest sort of good team.
I think even into like for Alligator, Heat Crash still would have done like a pretty healthy amount. Just because the numbers are so big.
Yeah, we saw how much it did to this Charizard right here, right? 40,
this is a resisted hit.
And
still dealt
Gators, 38. I don't think Gators that
to
much
be fair,
beefier.
I think, well...
A little bit, but not by too much.
Zard isn't not bulky, right? Like, Zard has some defenses. It's just that it has a terrible typing in a post-Stealth Rock world, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a bona fide OU Pokemon in ADV, and honestly, part of the reason is because of its typing and its way and the way it fits defensively into the metagame, right? That's a game that only has spikes as an entry hazard, right? In this format, I think in particular, picks like Zard can shine because you'll know, you know, you're drafting for ways to benefit it, right?
For sure. And you can kind of anticipate looking at your opponent, like, am I likely to see Stealth Rocks even come out? And in this case, the answer is no, apparently. But, yeah, Charizard takes that Heat Crash decently. We'll just play... oh, the second Hurricane Miss, that just hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
Heat Crash comes back out. A little more damage. Goes for the switch here into the Dragapult. I don't know. This is like an okay switch. It's not ideal. Dragapult takes 40, heals back 6. Weavile comes in. Sub comes out here, which looks actually okay, but he goes for the... Huh?
Yeah, there's a second switch out here. I suppose he was probably afraid of the triple axle coming out. That could have broken the sub and killed. Yeah.
But okay, hold on. I don't know the calc off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure a Dragon Dart would have killed Weavile anyway.
Probably.
And if it's
probably
not... Yeah, I guess the triple
both, I
axle's like
think,
the
yeah.
only thing you're afraid of.
Yeah,
But
it definitely is, but it is a pretty threatening button, right?
I I guess I'm just like going for the sub in having the sub up kind of gives you a safety cushion if you're like not sure about the Weavile set, and I'm pretty sure a max attack Dragon Darts would have killed. Because Weavile is not resisting that, and it's not very bulky. This thing's pretty frail.
Mm-hmm.
So
Super frail.
I'm pretty sure it would have just killed. The switch here just now kind of feels bad, I feel like.
Yeah, I think I'm not actually sure what the calc is. It's close, but I'm not sure that the Dragon Darts is a guaranteed KO, which
I will
may
say
explain
this.
the switch here.
I think the Volcarona switch makes sense. And the reason why I think it makes sense is that if you're thinking that he's going to press triple axle,
Right. You can flame body it potentially.
you're going to you have 3 different assuming it hits, right? You have 3 opportunities to proc flame body on a pretty bulky Pokemon that resists the hit, right? I don't think it's completely out of the question for this play to be made. Would I have switched into Volk and not Snorlax? That I don't know. Although I guess maybe if you're worried about the knockoff, because Weavile gets knockoff again, right? In this,
Yes, that's
Yes,
correct.
it does.
this
Yeah.
DLC. So, so that maybe would be my reservation there, right? But I don't hate it, especially since if you look at the rest of his team, right? Dragapult is really nice into Mew and Gouging Fire, and also probably hits Venusaur good neutrally, right?
That's fair.
I don't hate the switch into Volcarona. I get that it's like maybe not the most optimal play, but if this is a bulky Volcarona, there's not a whole lot Weavile can do for it. Womp womp, it knocks off its leftovers or boots or whatever. This team doesn't really have Stealth Rock anyway, and if it does, it'll be on Mew, which is something that doesn't want to switch into Volk anyway.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I'm just inclined to think if you already had the sub up and you're feeling okay that the Weavile is not going to click triple axle, and I don't even know if this has triple axle, to be honest.
It must.
Well,
It should, I think.
I don't.
Unless you're going Specs Weavile, you got that.
Look,
tasty
man,
ice beam.
I saw Ninetales
play-
come out. It didn't set up the sun. I have no idea what this game is anymore.
I mean, I suppose you could play loaded dice, Icicle Spear.
That's fair, actually. That also
That
does.
actually, I'll say this.
That's like kind of the same
Actually, no.
thing, right?
I'm not gonna say that. Because I don't want to give anybody any ideas. But that is a really good. I mean, that's a Gen 5 era thing into all of the sub setup mons that were running around in Gen 5 in like 2014. Substitute or Icicle Spear Mamoswine, right?
Oh yeah, that was a classic.
Such a big deal. And this was in Mamoswine got Icicle Rash, right? But you would run it sometimes if you figured you might see like a sub Protect score, or like even a sub Keldeo, right? Breaks the sub if it hits 5 times, right? So,
yeah, even having that chance to punch through it sometimes is better than just like an upfront, quote unquote, better move. We'll just watch the rest of this replay. Goes for the knock after swords, one shots the Volk, which feels bad. Cinderace comes out, gets one shot again.
Yeah, Weavile's faster.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Okay, well there goes half the squad. Sub comes back out, knocks off. So this confirms to me that Dragon Ball is so much faster. Oh, okay. Darts wouldn't. Oh, wow, the crit. Okay. Maybe that crit mattered.
Yeah, doing the calcs. Yeah, Dragon Darts is a roll if it's adamant nature.
Oh, and it's not at all if it's Jolly.
Yeah, and it's not a KO if it's Jolly. Yeah.
Ooh, shit. Okay. Well, the Mute comes out here. Sucker Punch does less than half. The Draining Kiss doesn't kill?
I don't agree with that play. Where's the Poltergeist, man?
Oh, that's a good... Yeah, actually, where is that?
Does Dragon Ball get Poltergeist? I don't remember.
I actually have no idea.
I think it only gets Venom Force, right?
Oh,
Oh,
It's got
yes.
Polter.
that
'Cause-
move actually also slaps though,
Yeah.
because your main ghost resist is gone.
Hmm. Yeah, it is just Polter or Physical Ghost, or not Polter. Phantom Force. Sorry.
Okay, because I remember building Dragapult last season and it didn't get Polter.
Well,
And if
Poltergeist was it not in the game until DLC 2?
No, it was in DLC 1. So
It was
that's
in
why
DLC 1.
that's when Sarah got way better.
Oh,
yeah,
right, okay. Because I think of when I think of Poltergeist and I think of physical ghost types, I think of Golurk, right?
oh, that's a good one.
And I guess Golurk is a DLC 2 Pokemon, so that's why I'm thinking.
Definitely.
I'm like,
That's fair.
like for next draft, I think I'm gonna try to make a Golurk too.
That seems fine. Well, this Mew is picking up the KO with Gunk Shot into the Charizard. Feraligatr comes out, standing by himself. Gunk Shot comes out, doesn't kill. Dragonite comes out, which is actually kind of insane. Grudge goes for the KO.
Siege's nicknames are on point.
Earthquake comes out, gets the KO.
Yeah, then this Gator just picks up some KOs here.
Wait a fucking second. Is this not Sheer Force?
No, it is.
But Life Orb shouldn't damage it.
Life Orb only doesn't damage on moves that have a secondary effect that Sheer Force negates.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because
So
Life
it
Orb
procced on
has
the
a
Earthquake.
secondary move
Okay.
effect.
Right.
Yeah, so
Never mind.
that's one of the reasons why you don't see Earthquake Gator very much.
Hmm. Yeah, because it's
You
like
know.
the only... It's one of the better moves that it gets that it would still take damage off of. That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
okay. That was a game. Also, a bunch of these, at least 2 of his nicknames are funny inside jokes from The Office. Not the show, I mean like our workplace.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah, 60K truck.
Yeah, the $60,000 truck.
I was thinking like, what is that a reference to? And I'm like, oh right, you're a
Yeah.
redacted worker in real life outside.
Yep.
of school.
Yep, it's great. I feel so. Thoughts on this game? I feel like Siege was close. I think one of the pivotal turns I think was maybe that Dragapult versus the Weavile, because the Weavile didn't show an ice move,
Right. It didn't.
so we cannot confirm nor deny if it had triple axle or if it had like Ice Shard or something.
Now that being said, the safest move in the game is knockoff, especially in Gen 9,
Right.
where there isn't an item like Mega Crystals or Mega Stones or Z Crystals that like don't proc knockoff, right?
Yeah.
And if you leave home, I mean, like, what Dark Stab are you using on Weavile if it's not going to be knockoff? Crunch? Night Slash?
There's
Yeah,
nothing.
there's
It's
just
really
really-
Not a lot, right? So
Mhm.
I don't know, like, see, right? Like that play was so good. I think Siege made the right play, switching the Vulcan. But Nook was just like, come on, I'm scaring this thing out, right? I'm safe to click Sword Stance. I mean, that was real pivotal.
I don't think this thing even gets Crunch.
I'm pretty sure it's only Night Slash. It's like Night Slash Sucker Punch.
Oh,
Maybe.
I'm getting this thing's move list mixed up with Drapions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It gets
Drapion
it
got
gets
Crunch.
Night Slash Throat Chop.
Yeah, so knockoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
That's its stab move. That's its dark stab for sure.
Oh, you get beat up too, haha.
Oh
Hey,
wow.
listen. Hey, beat up. I was telling Kendall about this. Beat up, goated move in Gen 3. The best. It is an almost universal take on Charizard to beat Blissey.
Yes,
Because of
and
the way
but
that
the
beat up
future
works
is
in
now.
Gen 3 and only Gen 3.
But
Listen,
the future is
man.
now where you beat up your own Lucario for Justified.
Yes, good old VGC strats.
Look, all I'm
Hey, you
saying is people climbed Gen 8 ladder with that bullshit. Was it good? Yeah, it's kind of.
Oh, it gets Hone Claws. That's cool. I didn't know we've all got Hone Claws.
Yeah, not that you. I mean, I guess you could use Hone Claws if you're playing for triple axle like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my thing. The play looked good it looked very safe from Siege to switch, but after we confirmed the Dragapult was faster than Weavile, I immediately just hated it, because if he stayed in, gambling it, he could have gone for Dragon Darts. Maybe not kill it right off the bat, but he would have lived a knockoff, sub would break, and then he just kills it on the follow-up. This is hinging on the idea that this didn't have triple axle, which we'll never know.
I think if it goes for knockoff, if Weavile goes for knockoff there and the Dragon Darts comes out, at the worst case scenario is that the Weavile is low enough to probably pick it up with Sucker Punch, right? So
that's true.
Yeah. I think that is also like a line of play, assuming there's no triple axle, right? Again.
Yeah. So I feel like the validity of the play hinges entirely on if this had triple axle or not. Because assuming he was going to click Sword Stance anyway, staying in with Dragon Darts looks insane. Like, it looks so good for Siege.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that would be like a clippable moment for sure.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard read to make, though, I think, in that moment. Because triple axle, fair. I believe triple axle actually kills through sub.
Yeah, yeah, it must. I mean, like, I haven't calced it at all, but, you know, is for being, like, the perfect offensive Pokemon, Dragapult is a wet piece of paper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so from 75% HP, or I guess it was a little bit less than 75?
It'd actually be a little bit more, I think, right? Because it would have healed a bit off of lefties.
Well, it took damage from the gouging cart, right? I believe.
Yes, it did.
Oh yeah, so it was at 66, dropping to 41, and healing up to 47. So actually, yeah, the triple axle would have 100% killed.
Yeah, so the third hit of triple axle 100% KOs of that range if it connects. So again, like, not like the worst line of play, but you know, it's a calculated risk.
Yeah,
the risk could have been taken there for sure.
Yeah, if I were Siege, I would have stayed in. But naturally, I think safer players would have gone for the safer switch to not risk the Dragapult, preserving it later for like potentially killing like G-Fire or Mew. I understand the validity.
Right.
But overall, I think, you know, both these players actually did pretty well. Just like a couple of potentially better plays, and also Ninetales having Drought would have, I think, changed the game significantly.
Yeah.
But all in all, not bad. That was a pretty cool game to watch. Rhyperior dying and not killing anything hurts my feelings, but you know, I guess that's what happens when someone who doesn't love the Rock Man uses it.
Well, that's also what happens when Stone Edge misses too.
Skillish she just hit.
True, but you know, not everyone can be that good, right?
That's true. Game hard.
Yeah, game is hard.
Yeah, if game was easy, game would not be as fun to watch.
True. Be just a shitty spectator sport.
I have to say that to myself because of my 3-0 loss this week.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm just kidding. It's not you.
I was about to be like, don't commentate my mistakes. I will tell you every mistake that I made. But yeah.
Well, here's my game.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I'm so excited.
We'll just jump over to the next replay. This is Blue Black versus Ventus.
Yeah. You guys go through this one. I'll be right back. Actually.
Okay.
And then I'll kind of talk about my thoughts on the game when I come back.
Okay.
All right. I'll be back.
All right. Mox, I will tell you right up front. I worked a good amount of time with Blue Black on this team, and I thought we had a good game plan.
Yeah.
But turns out, giving directions may not. You know, you can't just have people follow a flowchart.
What's really hard about Pokemon, and this is something. So, I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and folks in outside of like our friendship, both in this and outside of this, right, have talked to me about like, hey, you played Pokemon for a long time. I'm interested in getting the competitive singles. What do I need to know? And basically, can you teach me how to do it? And my answer to them is, what are your goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's hard is that if your goal is to win, then your play pattern has to be such where you either really understand the metagame that you're playing or really understand what your opponent is doing. There's only so much that somebody from like a third party can do to be like, okay, what are you comfortable with, right? What is your preferred play pattern? And given that we have so many relatively new people to this, a lot of them maybe don't know their preferred play pattern. Right. And I know for us, and I'm sure when Venice comes back, he'll be able to talk about this too. Our preferred play patterns have changed drastically over time, right? So, this, I think it just sort of preliminarily having seen this battle before. Spoiler alert. I'm not gonna obviously I don't remember turn by turn. It's hard to show somebody how to play the game before they know how they play their game.
Absolutely. I can tell people... I've had similar conversations with some of the players, and it's like, I can tell you how I play the game, because I know what makes me feel comfortable. And this is what I know best, but I don't know if that's, that'll work for you, or how do you want to play. So it has been a little difficult in that respect. And I think in this instance, this might be one of those cases where, because Blueback came to me and he's like, hey, I need you to help me work on this team. And I'm like, I can tell you how I'd build it. I don't know how you'd play it, but, he gave it a shot. And we can we'll go through it and see how things go. I mostly remember the builds on each of these. But he also had me look at his stuff at 10 o'clock at night one day on a Monday, and I was cross-eyed tired. But for the most part, I know the Iron Hands is AV, kind of your standard offensive mixed bulk. Torque Hole I think was spec'd leaning special defense to compensate for matchups against potentially Arboliva to not take any damage. And accounting potentially for Pheasantipity and even Ursulina Bloodmoon, depending on Ventus's build. High invested HP special defense Torkoal could actually take a hit. And then with its naturally high physical defense, it can ignore hits potentially from Samurwat and Zamazenta. The Walking Wake, I believe, was Specs. I'm pretty sure it was Specs with booster speed for that juicy sun boost. Elegant also Chlorophyll, I think fairly standard offensive build. I remember the Minior was pretty fun to build because it was just a shields down mental herb shell smash build with
White Orb.
Yep, with White Orb. So you can get the option for acrobatics. It still had, I think, Earthquake and Stone Miss. And then Tinglu was Ruination, something else. Maybe, I think we took Whirlwind because if something was setting up on the Tinglu, he could try to phase it out, which I thought was kind of a good play. It didn't work, but we'll go through it. So leads our Torkoal into the Samurwat. Samurwat goes for the flip turn here, and interestingly enough, eject button is triggered, and something we learned is if you use flip turn or U-turn or something into a thing with eject button, you don't finish the switch off of flip turn. You stay in. So the Litigant came out and is just staring this thing down.
That's really interesting. So there's a lot of, oh god, it's one of those things. I think it was a Gen 5 change, maybe it was a Gen 4 change, where you're there's a point at which the move resolves, and there's a point at which that move sort of overrides it. Again, I'm gonna just throw out the Gen 3 example again because it's just it's what I play the most. Explosion in Generation 3 works really interestingly because if you explode before something else moves, the turn ends completely, it just stops. Right? And so it's really interesting to see that sort of effect priority. It's almost kind of like a card game, right? Ironically, Pokemon is a card game, but
true.
There is it's fascinating to see these weird rules interactions that you wouldn't actually see on say the Gen 9 OU ladder, right? Because eject button is such a niche item that you bring when you know exactly what your opponent's going to do.
For sure.
That's really fascinating.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
This is now turned into a awful matchup.
Oh yeah, this went from being like potentially questionable with the Torkoal lead into, wow, this Samurot's about to die.
Yeah, it's something like that.
So Ventus goes for the hard switch into Arboliva. The Quiver Dance comes out from Lilligant. Terra Fire comes out from Arboliva as Pollen Puff goes in. Does just a little bit of damage. Roaring Voice comes out. Both kind of heal up a bit. The switch here is interesting, and they double switch. Iron Hands comes in for Blue-Black as Pheasantipity comes in for Ventus. Wait a fucking second. Is that Grassy Seed?
It sure is.
Wow, okay. Oh fuck, it's Calm Mind too. Earthquake comes out, doesn't do very much because damage is reduced by that grassy terrain and the +1 fizz.
+1 defense, yeah.
Torkoal comes out, sets up the sun again as a second Calm Mind is clicked. Oh god.
This truly is a very funny man. All things
True. Another Calm Mind comes out as it gets burned by a Will-O-Wisp from Torkoal.
Which is maybe the best damage status on it. Well, obviously maybe the only damage status on it, right? Because you can't get Toxic.
Right. Oh.
Moonblast really chunking
chunks down that Ting-Lu.
Chunking our Primarch there, Alfarius.
Yeah, Alfarius. You know, I'm glad he led with Alfarius, going for the switch into Alfarius. And I think a couple turns later he switched into Alfarius, as Alfarius is then forced to later switch out into Alfarius.
All things considered, I think he would have done a lot more if Omegon came. But,
I agree.
You know,
but, you know, whatever.
We can't have it all.
Nope, yeah. We cannot. I mean, it's almost like Alfarius died to Rogel Dorn. Or did he? I don't know, man.
Noted funny man Rogel Dorn.
Yo, is that the official rename? Pheasantipity's now Rogel Dorn. Because it's about to kill Alfarius.
Oh my god.
So, Moonblast connects, and I think this is where the Whirlwind was clicked, as the Moonblast would just KO it anyway.
Not that it would have mattered, because the Ting-Lu's not outspeeding.
No, by no means. But I'm just like, wow, this was potentially a terrible play. I just didn't like it, pretty much at all. Oh hey, Alfarius is out. Moonblast comes in, chunks it the fuck down as Shell Smash is clicked.
Shield's going down.
Shield's down as well. White Herb
out
procs.
Speed.
EQ comes out, picks up the KO at +2.
Yeah.
Huge swing. Aqua Jet comes in, gets a KO.
Jet, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately saw that play from a mile away. Torkoal comes back, sets up the sun as Arboliva is brought back in. Will-O-Wisp does not do anything because it's already Terra Fire, unfortunately. Alluring Voice hits, does a meager amount of damage as Lava Plume connects, dealing respectable damage as Grassy Terrain comes back out.
This is a deeply, deeply upsetting Terra and Pokemon combination, right? We saw this in SPL Season 2 with Poke-Aim's game against Playmore. This is the opposite of a long-running bit that we have in this group, in this play group, which is Aaron Zhang's favorite grass type is Heatran.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ventus's favorite fire type is Arboliva.
Oh, 100%. Without a doubt, that's his favorite grass type. Or sorry, his favorite fire type.
Obscene amount of work.
Oh yeah, and with investment and seed sower, this thing is stuck around for I think way longer than it really should have.
Yeah.
We'll just go through the rest of the replay here. Earthfire connects with Torkoal, does good damage as Torkoal seems to keep wanting to click Lava Plume. With not much else behind those eyes, switches into Alfarius, the Iron Hands, as Alluring Voice is clicked, does a decent amount of damage. Seed Sower is dropped. Strength Sap comes out, basically fulls heal this thing as Drain Punch does almost next to nothing at this point. And Earth Power does connect as a second Drain Punch does hit, but this is just a brutal, game of attrition neither player is making too much headway. That Drain Punch dealt a little bit more, which was nice, but was that a Citrus Berry? Oh my god. Wow. Right.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this thing can't have 2 abilities, right? Harvest would have been worse overall than Seed Sower, because it gets Harvest, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I think Harvest would have been funnier, given this matchup, and it's into a Sun team. I was telling Ventus, you know what? Do Harvest. It's funny. Coward wins Seed Sower, but it would have been. I mean, Seed Sower is more optimal.
I think it's I think it's just pretty obvious what the better ability probably overall on this thing is.
For sure. Another Earth Power connects. Damage. Drain Punch comes out. Damage. Is this a Strength Sap? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Full heals, because even at -2, this thing's attack stat is the size of a continent.
Even at -2, it's still a Paradox Pokemon.
Yep. Goes to the switch here into Alfarius. Earth Power does a decent amount of damage. The flip turn chunk kind of hefty there.
Yeah.
As Torkoal is brought back in, sets up the Sun. Luring Voice goes for the damage. Does a fair amount. Into the hard switch into Wake here felt weird to me, as Luring Voice gets the KO, and I don't think the crit would have mattered.
Yeah, even if it, it was a pretty. I mean, chat says that crit mattered, but either way, well, then Venice also says actually it might have been a roll. I wonder, but at the same time, I mean, we're in the last few throws of this match here.
Oh yeah, this game is just about done here. We have, for Blue-Black, pretty much the rest of his team is toast. Torkoal's on no HP. Iron Hands can't really do a whole lot into pretty much everything else at this point, because the Arboliva will just sit there. I thought it was funny to me. I remember watching part of this game. That Terra Blast was kept secret for so long. He could have clicked it at any point earlier when this was staring down the Lilligant, and he didn't do it, which is insane. Kind of a cool play, to be honest. Iron Hands comes back in. The Strength Sap will just full heal this thing. As Drain Punch, you already know how it goes. Like, this is not going to go anywhere. Earth Power gets a decent amount of damage. The Spadef drop really hurts.
Yeah. Oh god.
That's kind of all she wrote, really. Like, Earthquake's not going to do too much. Seed Sword just keeps coming back out.
Does
he click it again? I hope not. Okay. Drain Punch connects. Crits, though. Unfortunately,
he doesn't. Even if he is able to knock
doesn't
out
matter.
He doesn't have the offense to muscle through Blood Moon and a Zamazenta. I mean, it's just
there's just no way at this point.
Alfarius is the answer to one of those things, right?
True,
but it's just becoming increasingly more challenging, I think. At this point.
I mean, this is pretty much all she wrote. There's not really a whole lot else that can be done.
I have to commend Blue-Black for continuing to press buttons. Yes. Forfeiting is bad, right? It's like it's not sportsmanlike. But the man is committed, and this is the patience of a player who is learning the game and who wants to learn how to play the game.
For sure.
And that is a 5-0 victory.
Yeah, the scoreboard looks rough, but, he stuck it out. I think a couple critical plays that may have swung it back into his favor is maybe just letting that Torkoal die. Sacking it into the Arboliva to get a clean switch into the Walking Wake, I think would have turned this thing, at least, brought the differential closer. Because a Spexed Wake with Life Orb... Or no, it's Life Orb? Oh, okay, well, I thought it was Specs. My bad. Well, even so, Life Orb boosted Hydro Steam, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I probably just killed this thing.
It's very possible, yeah.
You know, it's so much damage. Because I think at the time the thing came, when Walking Wake had come in, it was already, you know, the Arboliva was already partially damaged, and I think at that point it could have just been killed with a Hydro Steam. And then as other things came out, like if he brought in Ursaluna, God forbid, I think that also would have just died to a Hydro Steam.
True.
Not so sure about the Driftblim or the Zama, but at the very least, you know, he could have picked up this KO. At bare minimum, make it 4-0. I was kind of okay with the Minior switch in, you know, and the play there. Although losing it that early to the Samurott felt a little rough to me. But I mean, in that positioning, there wasn't a whole lot he could have done. Because if he had gone for the switch, it's also like kind of bad, potentially.
It's just one of those kind of. I mean, I don't even know how to say that. He got Pokemon. He got into a situation just a perfect 50-50 situation,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and unfortunately the 50-50 is just outdone by the fact that at the end of the day, Venice used a total of 2 Pokemon.
Well, that's three. You know, the Sama came out.
Yeah, I guess 3. Yeah. So it's just hard. You know, it's just
Definitely.
It's hard to commentate on one of those things because you know what is, you know, what is going on there. It's hard. I don't know.
Yeah. And, you know, I'll give credit still to Blue Black. You know, I thought this was going to be a pretty rough matchup to begin with. You know, I thought in my mind it's all about keeping that Torkoal and a corresponding sweeper, you know, in a good position. And playing into Ventus, I think it was just a bit of a challenge trying to navigate that. It definitely isn't easy, so I give Blue Black credit for, you know, still giving it a good effort.
I do too.
Yeah, I feel like there's not a whole lot else to say. We didn't really get to see kind of really anything from Ventus's team, which is kind of shitty. I play him this week, and you know, for week 3, and I was hoping to see more of his teams than effectively 2 things.
Hi.
Oh, hey,
Hi.
welcome back.
Yeah.
Hey, so what's this Sama build? I need to know. Sorry, the audience needs to know. I'm just kidding.
What was my
I know
Zama build from week 2?
I can find it because we were talking about it.
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
Let me try to find it because you sent me your week 3 team too.
Yeah, I did. Sure did.
And I haven't had a chance to look at it because
This was a pretty standard.
An iron defense or like a standard offensive.
ooh, this was a cool one.
Yeah, this is a boot
cool
set
build.
with.
Oh,
It's a boot set with Howl.
Yeah.
Howl 3 attacks.
Oh, it's this shit. Yeah, okay, I heard of it.
Yeah. So, I went to Howl 3 attacks. This was my emergency button to break through Tinglu, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to set up with my Fez or get enough hits in with Samurott.
That's fair. You know, I guess that's what happens when you run the shield dog. You don't get Swords Dance.
Yeah. So, stuck here with Howl, but +1 Howl is actually enough to get the job done.
That's fair. I also figured
fully Fizz stuff, but
I also figured a +3 Moonblast would also get me there, but you know.
yeah,
Anyway.
that was more damage than I was expecting, to be honest, because I know Tinglu is so bulky, and I just like Fez is not like the strongest special attacker. And yeah, I was +3, but even then, I didn't expect actually to be able to get a 2-hit KO off of +3.
Oh, for sure. Well, now that you're back, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, so I was very surprised to not see Glimora or the Cerulege, and I think those are the Pokemon, like, besides Walking Wake and Tinglu, obviously, that I was like the most concerned about. I was like kind of thinking about Whimsicott, because Whimsicott does have like a pretty decent matchup into my team, I think. I mean, being a fast grass stab to take on my Samurott, my Ursaluna, and also Fairy to take on the Zama.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little bit scary, but at the time, like I think actually the biggest threats that I was looking at this draft again, Terra Fire Flygon, I think would have been really, really good in this matchup.
Ooh.
Like,
yeah, that's a good point. That would have been pretty spicy.
I don't have like a super good way of dealing with that if Sun is out, because if Sun is out, my Samurott's attacks are very weak. It's got Levitate, so I can't hit it with Ursaluna, Earth Power, or like Arboliva Earth Power.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll then resist also like Moonblast, and I had Heat Wave on this set for the Pheasantipity.
Oh, so it would have just resisted pretty much everything.
Right. So the only thing I would really have left to hit it with if it was Terra Fire would be like Stone Edge from Zamazenta.
Oh, that's a good point.
If it was in Sun. So that was like kind of my other reason I brought Zama with the 3 attacks this week. It's just like I needed a way to deal with that.
That's fair.
So
I will let you.
I was very surprised to not see it.
I'll let you in on a secret. Yeah, he didn't consider that at all.
Really?
Huh. Yeah, in team building, I think the focus was trying to run things that were that he thought he could make work. And of course, there's some pet mons that he wanted to try, like Minior coming out this week and actually getting a KO.
Right.
And then I think the Sun Avenue was the heavy lean. I mean, obviously he has his Sun Core and a Lilligant for that. And then the thought was to round it out with Iron Hands and Tinglu just being, I think, his 2 bulkiest options. So for the most part, the team hinged around the Sun Core, which I guess I didn't expect it to just lose to a Terrifier Arboliva.
Yeah,
that's on me, I guess.
A lot of things lose to Terrifier Arboliva, I think.
No, that was actually a big consideration for me taking it this week. I was looking at my matchup into, like, basically, I mean, if it's the grass type, it can absorb. It's like the only thing that I have that really absorbs Hydro Steam well. Because I don't really want to take that hit on my Samurott. I want to have it be able to trade better into other things. And if I'm Terra Fire, I can absorb the Flamethrower. So I have like that kind of mind game going on if I needed it. Obviously, I have a Luring Voice on this to do at least like 55 to 60%.
Right.
Or I think it's like 50% on the nose. That's how I spec the EVs for it.
Okay.
But yeah, like also the grassy terrain kind of helps my Pheasantipity and basically everything else set up too, because obviously reducing earthquake damage is big against threats like Iron Hands, Flygon, and Tinglu that represent earthquake very easily, and even Minior, right, has earthquake.
Yeah, for sure. Physical. Yeah, even at a +2, having that damage, I think cut in half.
Yeah, half damage
is kind of a huge deal because that almost just mitigates the +2 attack.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a good thought process. Good tech.
Yeah, there are a few good reasons that I had to bring this the Arboliva here. I think it's just, I think it's a really good mod for its points cost in this draft. It's like a 4-pointer, 5-pointer.
Oh yeah.
That seems undercosted to me.
And
I agree.
It's got a lot of good coverage moves too, right? Obviously you have your.
I mean, you showed
voice.
You showed us Fairy, Ground, and Fire apparently.
Yeah, I mean Terra Blast, right? Yeah.
Terra Stellar. I'm just kidding.
But you've also got the option for like Pollen Puff, right? You've got Pollen Puff as a secondary option if you need
for sure
to take on like Dark types or Psychic types. And then you also have like the utility. You can play this with like Leech Seed. It's even got Memento.
So you can
back.
Yeah, for a pivot.
Yeah.
That's actually really good. Wow.
So it's actually it's got a lot of things going for it, and I think it's like its flexibility in the move pool is one of the reasons why I wanted it. Besides having a grassy terrain setter, like I could have taken the wacky,
Yeah.
but
Well, this
I've been eyeing up this mon for a while, and I played it a bit in UU back before the DLC was out, to do kind of budget Sneasler things with Grafai.
Okay.
But even outside of that, right? Even outside of being a grassy terrain enabler, I think it's really solid overall. It's got a lot of options.
Yeah, definitely, and you've really showed it off here. Also, this thing has like a base like 125, 130 special attack stat.
Yeah, for some reason it's got
really
base 125 special attack and 109 SpDef.
Like,
so
what the fuck? Why is it so
yeah.
high?
It's like unreasonably bulky for something that like is kind of there just to take hits, right? But like, it's got good special attack too, right? Which
Yeah.
was
Which I think you really
actually really
showcased.
helpful here. Yeah, because I spec'd my I put 88 special attack EVs into this, and that is specifically so that I can guarantee to hit KO most Walking Wake builds and any non-Assault Vest Iron Hands.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, with the Lording
Right.
Voice. Yeah, that's super
Yeah,
good.
and it's, I mean, with just 88, like that's enough for the Alluring Voice or the Earth Power to do the job. And I was like, wow, that's actually really, really strong, because it means I can dump the rest into my defenses.
Yeah, you can really get away with just buff stacking that way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, great stuff. Fuck your treat for this week. Screw. I will cut this thing down.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing you in this upcoming
Not
week
with
too.
not with
so.
steel type moves, you're not.
Listen here, you little shit.
I guess you have stone axe, right?
Look, man, this thing will probably die to Chiyu anyway.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
Chi-Yu.
Terra Fire. I mean, Terra Fire is good, but Chi-Yu is pretty strong.
Chiyu is kind of a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'll have an answer for this, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you will.
I Hackmon in Earth Power onto Chiyu.
Ah. I see.
Anything goes Mega Chiyu.
Mega
kidding.
Chi-Yu?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a Mega for it.
Oh god.
Wow.
Do you remember when there was a quote leak that we were going back to Kalos for the
Oh,
January
yeah.
DLC?
Yeah.
I want that. I want those times back where there was hope. Anyway,
Well, before we get too much down the doom and gloom path of no cool DLCs for the rest of this game's lifespan, let's go to the last replay.
I don't think I've seen this one. This is new to me.
No, you were.
This-
No, you did not. So this is Jason Spades, my week 1 opponent, versus Jash Crashed, Fantasy's week 1 opponent. And right off the bat, Jash's team still loses to Earthquake.
Yes, it sure does.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, maybe 4 things just insta-die to Earthquake. God bless.
Yeah. So
Well, it's
I was
fine because the logic there is that Hippowdon will survive 4 earthquakes, right?
True.
That's how
True.
defensive Pokemon work.
That is
That's
true.
how you use it. I hope I hope the viewers at home understand my sarcasm. That's not how defensive Pokemon work.
no, that's how defensive Pokemon work. Trust me.
Trust
and
in
this-
the max HP, max physical
And if
defense
you-
of Hippowdon.
And if you play me ever, right? Use that logic. Bring one defensive Pokemon. Okay.
All right,
And this Hippowdon is very defensive. I
my
will say.
full bulk Violet Dunsparce. That's all.
Yeah.
Bring a max defense AV
Cricketune.
Hippowdon.
This is almost a maximum bulk Hippowdon. I can go over the builds as we go along, I suppose.
Nah,
I would
it's
love
okay.
that. Yeah, I'm so curious.
Oh, I think it's funny or not. No,
We don't have to.
I'm just
You
kidding.
can. Okay. Yeah. You can tell us after the game.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just watch the replay.
Yeah. So the first thing that I'm surprised to see in this game, and I was talking to Josh about this, and this is simply based on type matchup. I'm very surprised to see the Rotom Heat here. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure, like what it's intended to do here. Like Rotom is a good Pokemon, but in this specific matchup, I was looking at, I was like, I don't think he's ever gonna take Rotom or Talonflame because, I mean, there's just so many rock types that threaten it. So that's like the first thing I'm very surprised to see. Everything else is potentially workable, I think.
Oh, I'm just checking between the week 1 and 2 games, and the only things that stayed the same, I believe, from week 1 and 2 is the Tauros and the Tinkaton. Everything else got switched out because he originally had a Snowcore when I played him. With,
right, he did play with Titan.
Because he played Titan, Slowking, Talonflame instead of Rotom Heat, and I think he didn't take the Goodra.
He took the Dragonite in week 1, right?
No. Oh no, he took the Goodra. I'm sorry, the Goodra stayed the same too.
Oh yeah, the Goodra, right?
Okay. Let's just get into it. You know, we'll maybe stop here and there as plays are made.
Yeah, sure.
This is an odd lead. Not super super big on it. The Magma Storm comes out, doesn't kill.
Doesn't need to though.
That's true. Now it's crippled. Gigaton Hammer connects, breaks the balloon, which I think is kind of big. Stealth Rock comes out. That Gigaton is chipped. Wait, huh?
Yeah, I definitely would have stayed in there with the Heatran.
Yeah.
Knockoff
I guess
comes out.
Doesn't do much damage.
That's still a healthy, 40-some%. Mighty Cleave connects here as a Sword Stance is clicked.
Yeah, this is a very ambitious SD.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't agree with that play, because that D-Knight has enough HP for a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, going for the Mighty Cleave is a guaranteed KO there because of multi-skill.
Yeah, multi-skill is broken.
Yeah.
And
he's probably thinking Jace knows that he'll lose his Dragonite, and so I can SD on the switch. But nothing that he has will be happy to take a Mighty Cleave because Tinkaton is at way too low HP to be a safe switch in. Unless he wants to let it die and then bring in
like you get a clean switch into
Hatterene?
maybe Hatterene or Tauros?
Tauros, maybe?
Yeah, that was a very bizarre play. Deoxys Speed comes out as E-Speed is clicked, chunking it for 43, which is pretty good. T-Bolt doesn't kill. Oh,
yeah,
this E-Speed doesn't roll high enough.
Yeah, so very close trade
here. This E-Speed, if it rolled just a little bit higher, would have killed this Deoxys in a heartbeat. That hurts. Rotom Heat does come out here. T-Bolt doesn't, not a lot, as Volt Switch comes out.
I never like it when players use a switch move as a KO move because you actually lose momentum.
Yeah, you lose your switch prio.
Yeah.
So, goes with the bulk up here as T-Bolt comes out, crits. Not that I think that would have mattered. And he clicks a second bulk up.
Ambitious, to be sure.
As another bulk just picks up that clean KO. Gutra comes in here. Goes for the Earthquake. Does a fair amount. T-Wave is clicked here, which makes sense.
It's not outrunning much. Yeah.
No. Volt Switch comes out as Powdon comes in. Oops, excuse me. The Para on Gudra feels bad. Stone Age comes in, deals 26 as... Oh, well, Earthquake dealt 11.
Yep.
Well, Earthquake dealt 36. Draco Meteor does 32.
Yeah.
Is this an Assault Vest Powdon?
It sure is.
Wow.
Oh my god, I was joking when I was talking about that earlier.
And I was not.
So fucking unnecessary. Okay.
No, it's I specifically took it in this matchup, or I suggested in this matchup to take hits from like Gudra Surf because this team, in addition to being very ground weak, is very water weak. Besides the Lantern.
Right. Yeah, which I guess he could run Water Absorb on it, and that would be better. Than
yeah, and I believe it was Water Absorb, but in the event that the Lantern goes down, you need something that can absorb at least one hit and trade.
Yeah, something in the back.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm very nervous for Jace's game right now because there is an Accelerock Lycanroc there.
Yeah.
With full HP, no speed control.
You don't even need the Sandstream to Proc Sand Rush. This just clicks a Cell Rock and kills a bitch. Hatterene came in here, worth mentioning. Dealt almost no damage. Not great.
Yeah,
Flash
this
Cannon
is
gets the
also a very
KO.
defensive feature, and
Rotom Heat comes out, gets chunked down. As what the fuck? Did it eat a berry?
yes, it sure did.
What the hell? Okay.
It's learning stuff. It's eating its wiki berry.
Oh my god. I
It's
can't
gonna be
believe
able to tell you weird facts now.
I can't believe it can tell me information that'll get edited by trolls from 4chan. Hippowdon comes in here, I assume just to set up sand. Wow, that's crazy. Overheat miss!
The overheat miss is very unfortunate here.
Pain split!
Split for a bit of chip. but
Stone Edge gets the
Stone Edge
KO.
does get a KO, yeah.
Guja comes in and will just die. Tinkaton
That
comes
is
in.
Basically,
This is pretty much the game. Wait, what the fuck?
he could have preserved one differential here, but this happens,
I see.
and I laughed.
Goodbye!
This is a real Rip
And
Bozo moment.
Tinkaton win.
No.
No, it does not have a ground type move. Does Tinkaton learn Earthquake?
No.
I believe it gets Stomping Tantrum, I want to say, or Bulldoze, maybe?
I think it's Bulldoze.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, that was
I think several of those turns were left.
Oh yeah, it is just Bulldoze for ground type coverage.
Ooh, that's
I
a bit
wonder how
rough.
much max attack Bulldoze from a Tinkaton does to Lutran. I am genuinely really curious.
I imagine it's still a
believe that.
lot, just because...
4x, yeah, 4x
Yeah.
weakness is a real drug.
Hello, my name is Rapirier. Even with an ability, I'm still made of wet paper.
See, what's screwed up is that, like, even with 80 base attack, 4x Avalanche doesn't do a whole lot to Landorus, and that's why it's not on my team anymore.
Fair.
Although Clam, I'm sorry, Glorious Corn,
Yeah.
I did promise the Corn Man that we would play an exhibition match with a Regigigas that would be not an official CDL game.
I think towards, maybe toward the midpoint of the season. Or after I play at least Ventus. Or, hold on, what am I'm playing you, right?
You play me later, because I play,
Oh.
I believe I play Blue-Black this week, or this coming week.
When do I play you? Like week
And then after that I play Mr. Josh.
Oh, I play you week 7. Shit, that's like way the fuck down there.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Because I'm bringing memes, I don't care.
I'll promise you right now, I'll bring a cartoon.
Yeah! Oh, shit! Yes, absolutely! I'm bringing Basculin.
Yo, hell yeah. I'll you know what? I'll even give you your pick of what snake I bring.
You know I want you to bring the Dunsparce. I want you to bring the big one.
Alright, that.
Also, yeah, I really desperately want to talk about Josh's team, but I have to tell Korn the amount of bass puns that Ventus and I came up with
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck.
were absurd. And I'm not going to tell you any of them because every time I use Basculin and I switch it in, I'm going to put a new one in the Showdown chat.
Oh, excellent.
That's my game plan. That's the plan.
I really hope. Alright, how
You
about
heard it here first, folks.
I'll make you a deal. If you run Basculin against me, I'll take phasing moves on at least 2 things. I'm
More puns!
yeah, you'll be like, alright, flip turn. Alright, comes back in Dragon Tail, bring it back. Alright, flip turn.
Yes, absolutely.
Alright, roar,
Oh, I
bring it
can't
back.
Oh my god. Yeah, 100%. Okay. So what the heck is going on with Josh's team?
Yeah, what's the
That was
lowdown?
great. It looked terrible, but it actually ended up being awesome.
Yeah, so this
I already,
team.
I feel like I already know what the boulder build is.
Yeah.
It's Swords Mighty Cleave, and who cares what the other 2 moves are?
Yeah, I mean it's Earthquake, and I believe it was what's it?
Like Zen Headbutt or some shit.
I don't remember if it was Zen Headbutt or
Psycho Cut, maybe.
Thicker cut.
yeah. Let me hold on. I actually sent the. Alright.
And then
I have
it's
a
tuned
case.
just, and it's, I think max speed still lets it get booster speed, so.
Yeah, the speed stat when it's because the speed stat is so incredibly high with Jolly Nature, It's actually only 176 speed
Oh, is the rest into HP?
and 80 HP. Yeah.
Oh.
And this speed tier is so that when it has booster speed, it's faster than Titan and Snow.
Oh.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's right. So the last two moves are Earthquake and Wild Charge, actually.
What is that?
And Wild Charge.
Oh, okay. No, that
Tauros.
makes sense. Into Tauros. Yeah,
Wild
yeah.
Charge. It's here for Tauros and it's here for Corviknight because without
Oh, because you. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
there's not like a really good answer to Corviknight. And the other answer came in the form of the Deoxys with the Thunderbolt.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm seeing it. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Right.
It's a good
Lightning's not
build, except
terrible
when
in
you
the
click
core
Swords Dance in front of a Dragonite for no reason.
Yeah. So that was that was a very ambitious SD, but yeah, this was like set up to be kind of a full sweeper. It has coverage for basically everything on the team, or in Jace's draft, I should say.
I'm personally a big fan of some of those like styled mons where it's like this has coverage for like 90% of like the threats you might see, and after a boost, it just can win the game.
I think the only thing that potentially walls this is like Slowking.
Yeah, and even that's not very convincing.
But even that, because it's Galarian Slowking, even that kind of dies to Earthquake.
Yeah,
for,
boosted.
like, a couple hits, right?
I mean, +2 Earthquake is gonna chunk that thing for at least like 70 to 80.
Yeah.
And then what does it do in response?
Not
Not a lot.
Yeah, like Nerf maybe, you know?
Yeah, maybe. And even then, with HP investment, 80 HP? I think you said.
Yeah, 80 HP.
That'll give it a little bit more survivability. So
Yeah.
I like the build. I just don't like the play.
Yeah. The play was a bit questionable, certainly, but
I'm curious to know what was the spread on this D speed because it did not kill, and I want to know why.
and this is actually just the consequence of Deoxys speed having Garbo attack stats.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
This
like base
is
95 or something. It's not.
you
amazing.
may not believe this, and I'm not sure if that's because this was like I didn't do the calcs, but
Say
I'm not sure if
physical
this was, like,
Deoxys right now.
No, I'm not sure if
Okay.
this was like AV Dragonite.
That explained why I didn't get any lefties recovery.
Yeah.
Let me. I'm actually gonna run the calc.
Because it
Unless
took.
like Yachi Knife or something. That's the thing that I was surprised by. We didn't see Ice Beam from Deoxys. I feel like that's a move that's really common on it.
Yeah, I wasn't so certain. I guess maybe the bolt was to cover for if it was looking at Talonflame or Corviknight.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Guess that gives you a little bit more options.
How much does the Thunderbolt do to the Dragonite? You scroll up, or yeah.
I think it's almost here. Wait, huh?
Oh,
Oh, no,
45,
sorry.
right?
Yeah, 45,
45
yeah.
on turn 6.
And it didn't have multi-scale.
So it's actually not Saltfest. It's
Is
just
it just
having-
Deoxys sucks?
Yeah, it's. I mean, Dragonite's got 100 base SPDF, right, and 91 HP. So
That's
like
fair.
not bad.
There
But-
is some.
Let me
some
just say,
chunk.
yeah, this is modest specs Deoxys.
Choice specs.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing just sucks then. Oh my god.
Yeah, it just does not do any damage if it's not like. I mean, if you're not running like any of the 100+ power moves, it just does not hit that hard, right? Which is why I suggested specs for it to begin with, because
Oh.
the only way you're really gonna pressure.
Well, okay, what were the
Anything.
moves on this then? Because Bolt Beam feels. I would assume Bolt Beam, Psycho Boost, and some other fourth thing.
The thing about Ice Beam is that it's actually not very good into anything except for Dragonite.
I mean, it
on
hits
this roster.
Gudra.
Yeah, I guess Gudra as well, but there's other ways to answer it. So this is actually Psycho Boost, Thunderbolt, and Shadow Ball.
Okay.
And the fourth move is Trick, to stop potentially the setup from
Oh,
You know,
maybe for like
Corviknight,
Tauros or
Tauros.
Okay.
yeah things like that. Even if it's like Dragon Dance Dragonite, right? You can
Yeah.
trick it into that.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Sure. That's not bad.
Yeah, But it's very funny seeing modest specs. You expect it to do a lot more damage, and it just doesn't because Deoxys has
Yeah.
not very impressive attacking stats.
Yeah, when you were like, oh, it's specs, I was like, no fucking way, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
How did this
it
do
just
nothing?
is. Yeah. Yeah. So Deoxys speed, proving that it's good, but not overwhelmingly good.
I think its best use continues to be just a fast hazard setter or status spreader, and not a
Or
whole lot
screen setter,
else.
right?
Yeah, or screens,
Yeah.
but not really at all for damage unless you click Psycho Boost once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I guess a lot of the other sets felt pretty straightforward. Like bulky Heatran seemed to do okay. I absolutely would have. I agree. I would have left it in.
Yeah, on turn 1.
At the
There's
start,
nothing that Tinkaton can do that really threatens.
because what are you afraid of? And like this can't switch. Because
yeah, I mean,
it's stormed.
you're not afraid of anything, really. Yeah.
Like you literally clicked rocks in front of it. Even after Leftovers recovery, it was at 8, and it takes like 13 from the storm damage.
Yeah, 12 or 13, right?
Like, it just felt weird. And would have also, in theory, preserved the Lycanroc, because there would have been no Tinkaton at the end to die to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like everything else makes a lot of sense. I kind of like the Lantern build, honestly. Like, T-Wave with, Volt Switch as an option feels really good.
Yeah, this is pretty standard, like utility lantern, right? T-Wave, Volt Switch, Scald.
Yeah, I assume with
Thunderbolt for a bit of damage.
I assume with just a good amount of bulk, and then like Water Absorb for the Tauros.
Yeah, yeah, Water Absorb, and then full bulk, right? Like, or I mean, 240 HP, and then split physical and special defense.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. I don't know if I have a whole lot else to say about Josh's team and how he played.
I think the only regret is that we couldn't see the Lycanroc come out and do anything, because he did trade it away for this upcoming week.
That's true. It's gone forever. As is the Lantern, which feels a little bad after it kind of just rocked it out this week.
Yeah, it was pretty good this week. I mean, anything that's
points is
bulky and can hit Thunder Wave, right, is pretty good.
I think Lantern is... It's not too much.
It's 6 points.
It's not bad. I don't even know if I would call it overcosted. At 6 points for something that gets either water or Volt Absorb, that feels okay.
Yeah, and it's just got so darn much HP, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like 100 something, right? Like 110? Maybe more?
125, actually.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's just got so much health that, I mean, it doesn't have, like, the best, like, the best attacking stats, but you don't really need it to do that, right? It's got, like, decent coverage, so you can hit things that, like, it does get things like Ice Beam.
Well, it's sort of like its whole job on this team is to just kind of come in, apply a status, and then allow it to, allow you to reposition or soak one of two potential major typings.
Yeah, and I think having, like, it actually learns Dazzling Gleam, too.
What?
So your coverage is not, like, terrible, right? You actually get decent coverage into, you're fighting in dragon types. And you get Ice Beam for flying, or I guess for grass, right?
I think the hard part to me in this case then is Lantern suffers from 4 move slot syndrome. Because you almost always take Thunder Wave, I feel like. And then if you're playing, I guess, a little bit more team oriented, you take Volt Switch. Otherwise, I guess you can flex into one of, or I guess, one of 2 other optional moves. But like Thunderbolt's mandatory, I feel like, too.
I feel like you always take Thunder Wave, Scald, and then Volt Switch is like, debatable between Volt Switch and Thunder Wave. And then your 4th move is just whatever you want, whatever you
Sure,
need
if you go like Dazzling Gleam or Ice Beam. Yeah, that's fair. Okay,
Hmm.
that makes sense.
You can even do stuff like what was I looking at? You can even run something like Amnesia if you want it to be like a really annoying special tank.
Oh, that's
but
an option.
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how exactly good that is, but like it's there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't get anything like Taunt or Encore, unfortunately, but you kind of don't really need that because at least in Jash's draft, right? Like he's got a lot of other mons that are flexible enough that can make up the coverage and just use this as a utility piece, which is why I kind of liked it to begin with. But trading it away for, I believe it was.
I know he picked up a Tatsugiri, I think, for his water.
Yeah, it was for he picked up Tatsugiri and Quillfish.
I mean, I guess that's okay. Quillfish gives him an option to soak Toxic Spikes, which may be more relevant, not this week, obviously, but in his future matchups.
Yeah, in future weeks, yeah. And then he did pick up the Thunderous Therian for electric coverage. So
okay, so it has a Volt Absorber at the very least.
right, so he's still got the Volt Absorb. He's still got a good electric type attacker that can also be built fairly bulky actually. Thunderous Therian, I think, is a pretty good replacement. You obviously lose some of the natural bulk, but because it has so much special attack,
Yeah.
You can actually afford to build Thunderous Therian fairly defensively and still do good damage, which is one of the reasons I like it a lot.
That's fair, actually. That makes sense. I think it also just kind of gives him more offensive options instead of, to me, effectively just having a mostly ground rock-based draft.
Right.
And at the very least, with that flex option, he can hit, a couple of the other major weak, types that would give him a hard time, which would mostly be water.
Right.
And potentially, I think even grass, because Thunderous just has good coverage options.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's a good pickup for sure. I just lament, he finally got around to using Lantern efficiently and immediately traded it away for another fish.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I think picking up the Thunderous Therian is going to still serve him a lot of good in the future. So I don't hate the trade, realistically.
Yeah, I think it's a fine trade.
As far as Jace's team, the only major question mark play I had was the Taros going for bulk up twice. I was looking at some of your standard Taros builds on just whatever Showdown had, and if you had Trailblaze, you could have gone for a Trailblaze there, chunked the Lantern, and I think either of Close Combat or Raging Bull would have killed. Raging Bull obviously wouldn't have if it was a Water Absorb Lantern, but CC would have guaranteed killed.
Right.
And at +1 speed, it kind of compensates for the Thunderwave speed reduction. Not really, but it's something, Get you back up at least a little bit. And, we would have known it lives a Thunderbolt, and it could have gone for the kill. At least trading until the Lantern, if nothing else.
Right.
And I think even at minus, or paralyzed, but at +1, I think it still could outspeed, Hippowdon? Assuming the Hippowdon, had 0 speed investment.
Raging... speed investment.
Okay. Then I think Raging Bull wouldn't have killed, but would have at the very least chunked down the Hippowdon quite a bit. And in that late game position where it finds itself at 37% after some Rotom chip, it would have just died, I think, to the Raging Bull.
Right.
I think it just wouldn't have been able to deal with the Heatran at that HP total unless, again, this was 0 invest to Heatran. Then maybe it could have, but doubtful.
Yeah, this Heatran definitely had some speed investment.
Okay, that's what I figure.
Yeah, I believe it was meant to be faster than Titan out of snow.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because you can pick up an ear, a potential KO if it's not aware, basically.
Yeah. It's basically to avoid getting earthquaked by Titan potentially.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, I guess my main comment for, Jace's team is that this Tauros, man, it can put in so much work. It's just a matter of, I think, finding opportunities to best preserve it. Keeping that alive.
The Tauros is Terra banned for a reason, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's
no
so
question.
Strong. Even without Terra, it's like,
It kind of gave me a run for my money in my first week against him, and I felt very comfortable playing into it. It was just, wow. I think just a couple of misclicks on his end really sent the game into my favor. But oh man, if he was playing, on the razor's edge, laser focus, that Tauros could have just turned my team on its head.
Yeah, because that thing hits.
Oh yeah, and I think when I played him, he had gone for 2 bulk ups. So I was very afraid of the damage that they could have output.
Right.
Raging Bull would have scared the bejesus out of me. And I think in this matchup as well, Raging Bull, after a bulk up, could have just chunked through, Hippowdon, Heatran. It needed to just not be paralyzed, basically.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think both players played it decently well. A number of weird plays, weird clicks, but it worked out for Jash in the end. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what everyone does for the coming week. We do have
soon.
Yeah, week 3 is starting actually tomorrow, which is going to be pretty exciting. Very much looking forward to it. Yeah, because I play you, Ventus.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. It's going to be fun.
I had to remember to rearrange my tabs in this window that I'm screen sharing, because I didn't want to accidentally flip on stream to
your team,
to Team Builder, or like the Pokepaste, and I'd be like, oh, shit, whoops. I'm ruined. So I had to be really careful when I was getting the stream set up. But looking at the rest of the matches, we have Cat Bomb versus Hakurai. Battle of the Buddies, this one is as well. Cat Bomb and Hakurai are like good friends, close friends, co-workers. I don't know what they are.
Both, yeah, friends and co-workers. Worked together for a while.
Yeah, and we have Jash versus Big Honey, which will be a very interesting matchup because this is the sand versus the snow, really. So it'll be really cool, I think, seeing how that Weather War is going to play itself out. And we got Kick versus Nook, which I think will be a weird matchup, because this is also another Weather War. This is snow versus sun.
Yeah.
So we have 2 of the best weathers really slugging it out in front of each other. Kick being able to benefit from snow with like his Baxcalibur Slowking core, and Nook being able to really play with the sun with, as you saw from this past week's team, Ninetales with Drought, paired with a Venusaur and a Gouging Fire. That looks super good. And then we have Mox versus Blue Black, which I think will also fare pretty interesting. I think this will be a pretty funny match to watch, I feel.
Oh god, yeah, I'm.
He's got a team.
He is the Hisuian Lilligant live this week?
Yes.
It is, yes.
So this will be a little spooky. He's got Bellybolt and Hisuian Lilligant now. And Bellybolt I've used personally. This thing's fat as shit. Like,
yeah,
it can just take hits and just not give a fuck.
Yeah, it's a great Pokemon. I mean, it's not like the most offensive Pokemon, but it's got good defensive stats, and it really is just good at absorbing hits.
Oh yeah,
especially with Terra Fairy or Terra Water.
Oh, absolutely. Super funny watching. What the fuck? Rapid Strike Urshifu click, Rapid Strike into a Bellybolt, and it like takes about half its HP,
like 40-50%,
from Rocky Helmet, and then dies to Parabolic Charge.
Yeah.
And then I heal it back. I'm like, all right, cool, that happened.
Yeah, nice.
So big fan of Bellybolt. I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays.
Notably in singles, one of the Pokemon, I don't want to say few Pokemon because there's still several Pokemon that have it, but one of the Mons that does get toxic still.
Oh.
So as a defensive, like, stalling you know, like not like a hard stall mon, but like, you know, as a defensive check, it does get that toxic. So there's some, you know, added utility there. You really have to be careful when you know, what you switch in on it.
Right, for sure. Yeah, that's gonna be really
the threat
fun,
of between the threat of boosted parabolic charge from its ability and toxic, right? Like, you have to be careful not to switch in the wrong thing into the wrong move.
Yeah, really gotta watch out for that thing. But I think, Mox, you have a healthy number of tools. Like, I don't think Goldengo really cares about it, so... And, you know, you'll obviously have that Landorus, rat bastard form. So, you're probably okay, but we'll see how you play it. I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see. Let me let you in on a little secret.
Yeah?
I haven't had time to prepare at all.
Yo, fuck yeah. Let's go.
So I'm starting 2 fucking night.
Nice.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm
It'll
gonna
be
need
great.
help. Yeah. Oh,
We'll be
God.
there for that.
Like, I've been quiet because I've been looking at.
Are you trying to build right
like,
now?
I'm gonna build right, like, on stream? Hell no. But,
No,
like,
I wasn't
on-
gonna say on stream. I was like,
Oh.
are you just looking at your shit right now?
Yes, that's why I haven't talked for the past like 10 minutes.
Good lord. Fair enough.
Because I'm like, oh shit, right? It starts tomorrow. God damn.
Yeah.
You know, for our last couple matches, we have the Battle of the Jaces? The JCs of some varietal? Jace of Spades versus JC. I'm so excited because JC was the winner of our Most Arranged Build Award for Week 1. And I was promised that she will continue reaching for that prize every week.
And we have seen some great sets from JC.
Oh,
every week.
absolutely.
And sets that are like wild, but also like semi-functional, right? Like,
I mean, week 1 we saw Choice Banded Galarian Wheezing that was meant to Oko Baxcalibur out of like even in the snow it would have 2-shot.
yeah,
Like, that's insane tech. That's so cool.
right. But it's like a functional tech, which is the really cool part about it. I think.
Oh, yeah,
like, that's the best part.
It's way better than Pechaberry Trick Goldengo, that's for sure. Shout out to Hawkeye
Yeah, that's
Season
true.
1.
Yeah.
That's you see, we call that a build. And as far as the matchups, last but not least, we have Siege versus Lemons, and this is going to be really interesting because I know Lemons puts a lot of thought into his builds. Like he crunches the numbers really hard. It's almost like it feels to me, and sometimes I forget that he hasn't played a lot of Pokemon since really Gen 4 on the DS. So it's super cool that he's really acclimated into this kind of competitive environment. Really looking forward to some cool stuff. And Siege, no slouch at all. You know, every game he's played this like so far in the season has been pretty down to the wire. Even the game we saw today, you know, versus Nook, it was close. It was really close.
Yeah. Despite being 0-2, Siege has had really good games.
Yeah, his differential's actually not bad, being basically like only
minus
-4.
4 in 2 games is actually really telling, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he's averaged only losing 2-0, and
Oh,
that is
100%, yeah.
like, you know, I mean,
If he takes a
considering-
crazy good
considering his-
game this week, he
Yeah.
can climb back into the running for playoffs.
yeah, absolutely.
Super excited to see how.
I
this
mean, nobody's
goes.
out of it yet. We're still really.
Oh, I
early
mean,
in
yeah,
the
this is
season.
week 2. Fucking, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, we're already seeing some players, you know, floating to the top, some floating elsewhere. But this is still reasonably early. You know, there's still a good shot for players to be able to like fight their way into the playoff seats. And you know, I played fantasy football. Anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, this isn't quite the same principle, but in a draft league of any kind, I'm of the opinion that even the smallest shake to the boat can just suddenly, like, you know, someone who lost like for their first like 3 or 4 games is in like second place. You know, if they have some crazy good games.
Even just from week 1 to week 2, right? We saw Lemons he got what 5-0'd in week 1 and
into a 6-0
0'd in
for
second
himself.
week. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
that was incredible. I DM'd him immediately after I saw the game, and I was like, "That was so good."
Yeah, he told me, he was like, yeah, Mox DM'd me after my game, and he was like, "You're insane, good shit." I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, if I see a good play, I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, that was fucking excellent."
Oh yeah, gotta call that out every time. So I'm quite looking forward to this coming week. It's gonna be good. Ventus, I'm gonna crush you. I will tell you, one snake is in the team. Minimum one snake.
Oh, absolutely. I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared for at least one snake. If you bring two, then I have no idea, man.
Wait.
I mean,
So does this mean? Sorry. Does this mean Basculin is live for this week?
No.
No.
in a
no,
week,
right? Okay.
The,
So
when did we lock in this trade?
When did you do it?
recently, it
It was
wasn't
Thursday, right?
The answer's no.
One day. That was the cutoff, right?
Yeah, so if you wait until Thursday to play your game, it will be allowed. But if you try to play it before then, you know,
It's not.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
minimum 1 week of preparation time if it's after Wednesday, or after Tuesday.
Yep.
Oh man.
Are you
Wow,
gonna
there's
purposely
so
delay
much-
your game against Blue
No,
Black till like
no.
Friday?
No, no, I'm not. I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna try to like actually do some prep because I haven't had any time to this week.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm super hyped. This will be a great week.
One thing I want to touch on.
Terrafish? Who's the other Terrafish?
It's
or the
Bruxfish.
stellarfish? This. Oh my
It's
god.
a Bruxish, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh. Oh, I'm so excited.
Terrastellar Choice Banded Bruxish has been Big Honey's,
Was
one of
played,
his
yeah.
favorites, and I'm like, dude, this thing goes crazy.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Basculin gets agility.
Oh,
One of the
fuck.
things I want to touch on really quickly, actually about Jace's team building is I love his usage of the like the pinch healing berries, the ones that trigger when you're below a quarter and heal 33.
Yeah, actually, I had to think about it a little bit, because I keep forgetting that Tauros gets Kudchu. So,
Yeah,
there is...
and that's like such a cool tech, and he even had one on the Roadon this week too, right?
Mhm.
Which is
The wiki berry, it learned.
I can't
yeah,
believe
which
it.
is
He went to an
not,
encyclopedia.
Like, a standard thing, but very cool to have, right?
Oh, yeah. And I think with, like, I am assuming this is a pretty bulk-invested Rotom, so he can get away with taking a couple hits and then healing back a good chunk of HP. 33% is
Right.
quite a bit, especially on something that is, I'm assuming, heavily invested in bulk.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of a fan. I'm a loser, so I would have just gone Intimidate Tauros. But I think Kudchu, given his style,
I think that's so
works
good.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm hoping. I can't wait to see the Battle of the Jaces. I have high hopes. Because I don't know how Jace builds. I played him obviously, but I didn't really give me a lot of insight. I'm like, it feels balanced, but
I think I actually have to prepare big time. I'm gonna bounce.
fair enough.
Alrighty.
All right. See you, everybody. Thanks for hanging
Yeah,
out.
good luck.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see Mox versus Blue Black. I definitely think Mox might be slightly overly afraid, but I think with good reason. If Blue Black feels like he's honing in on something really,
Yeah,
And-
they both have really good drafts, I think.
oh yeah, I think with just a little bit of sharpening, Blue Black's team can really just take it home.
Yeah,
this coming
the
week
addition
even.
of the addition of this Lilligant is actually pretty strong, I think. I mean, upgrading from regular to Hisuian Lilligant could be what this draft really needs.
I am
to have-
inclined to agree.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it turns out because I've mentioned this before. I don't think on stream, but in conversation, like Hisuian Lilligant is a good Pokemon, but it's like very middling outside of Sun, right? It's like it's kind of mid. Like it's okay with Hustle, but then you have to RNG your way into hitting everything, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
not always like a fun prospect.
Yeah, we saw that last season. I think Shagai Rai took it in at least one of the games, and we did unfortunately see a miss or two off that hustle.
Yeah.
Um,
So
But I mean, when the hustle moves hit, it killed a bitch. So
Yeah, that's true. Right?
it's gonna.
So,
I think it's gonna depend on how he wants to play it. I suspect the safest route is just Torkoal into Lilligant or Torkoal into Walking Wake again. That feels really safe.
yeah, I think the important thing is I think having Lilligant here as a like a physical attacker in Sun, so that you can take Torkoal, Lilligant, Wake instead of having to rely on your Cerulege, your Iron Hands, is going to be really good here.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, that's gonna feel better. I think overall.
Yeah, just having another Sun abuser on the physical side really helps.
Yeah, I definitely felt like that was an issue with his team before, because having two special attacking sweepers is okay, but not ideal. You know, I think the kind of the dream version for me would have been what Nook drafted, with like G-Fire to heavily abuse Physical Sun, and that Venusaur to be your Chlorophyll special sweeper. Because even with like Specs Venusaur is pretty good, Life Orb Venusaur is not bad, and even like Growth Venusaur, good lord, that can go crazy.
Yeah, I've even seen Growth Life Orb, which is
Oh god,
really punishing. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
if you let that thing get one growth off, it's done.
Yeah, you are never outspeeding it. You are not outmuscling it. That's for sure. Maybe you can out tank it because its coverage isn't the best, but it's gonna rip a hole through most teams.
It's like if you can't KO it, it's just gonna Giga Drain all that health back up with the
Oh,
+2. It's like, well, it's you're out of here.
Yeah, really your funeral kind of a moment.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I think we got lots of good stuff lined up for this coming week. Super excited. Fuck this tree.
It's
Alright, go Terra Fairy Arboliva, I'll bring Pesharon.
yeah, good deal, right? I'll just take let me just take my fairy type Terra into your poison guy.
Oh, that too.
You're 2 poison. You're gonna go Terra Blast poison Mousehold. I
No.
can see it now.
Maybe.
I can see it now.
No,
I'll
it's
go
Terra
Fairy.
No. Terra Stellar Sludge Bomb Dunsparce.
Hmm.
It's terrible. It doesn't even get Sludge Bomb.
Oh, does it not?
I don't think so. I mean, what's amazing to me always is that the Sparse line gets like every coverage option. It's mental. It gets everything.
It really does. It does not get Sludge Bomb, sadly.
Ah, that's okay. It gets Bolt Beam.
You do get Poison Jab.
Okay. Fair.
I mean, you can go Coil Poison Jab. That is an option.
What's the poison chance on Poison Jab?
I believe it's isn't it 30?
Is it 30?
I forget it. I don't know. Let me check. I was just looking at it. Oh, it's yeah, it's 30. Yeah.
Ah, that's a weird way to say 60.
Serene Grace.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
Not even bad.
No, I don't think I can use that this week. Or can I? You'll never know.
Can you? Yeah, I'll never tell.
I do think I will find an opportunity for it. Maybe against Catball.
Yeah, Dunsparce and Dunsparce are like they're just Pokemon that are so flexible, right? You can build them so many different ways.
Oh yeah, I've built Calm Mind like this past week on my normal Dunsparce. Week 1, I went Paraflinch to Dunsparce. Like, they kind of just do whatever they want. It's so cool.
Yeah, you can play Utility, you can play Calm Mind, you can play Coil. It's like, there's just so many choices.
Oh yeah. It's worth remembering. They get Stealth Rock too for some reason.
Yeah, you can play it as like a lead with like Stealth Rock.
Yeah,
and
bulky
hit 'em
Stealth
with,
Rocks and like Glare for a guaranteed para.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I'm reminded of this stuff that's like Glare, Stealth Rock, and then you run like Boom Burst plus like a coverage move, just to have good stab, or Boom Burst plus Roost.
Yeah, that actually is really good.
It's like you don't really need that much, that much special attack investment when the move itself is 140 power.
Oh yeah, 140 with stab. Like,
yeah.
all right, something's dead. Not sure what, but something's dead.
Yeah.
I'm just excited. I'm not sure when I'll get around to playing Arcade because I'll be out tomorrow, so there actually won't be the standard stream Saturday morning. But perhaps in the evening I might try to make up for it. But we will see. But I think that's all I have for today's stream. Alright, say goodbye to chat.
Bye, chat.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for hanging out, chat.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. I'll keep doing these self-outros, because I don't know, fucking it's what I've been doing for a while. Yeah, thanks guys for hanging out. I do appreciate it. Like I just said, there won't be a stream tomorrow morning, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I'm going to a event for Warhammer 40,000. I will try to stream that night, so you know, if people aren't available to watch the stream, that's okay. Stream VODs are now being uploaded to a YouTube channel, youtube.com/@gloriouscorn42, I think is the link. But yeah, videos will be there, and it's just VOD uploads. Nothing too special, nothing too crazy. It's mostly just a way for me to record the video, you know, the VOD, so I can at least get them off of Twitch and onto somewhere potentially a little bit more permanent. So just want to thank you guys. Keep an eye out for tomorrow's stream. It'll be great, I promise. It'll be good, if there even is one. And at the very least, if you can't catch it here, it'll be on YouTube. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, rest of your night, and hope to see you in the next one.